Now Matt Rule knows. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was the Matt Rule era in Nebraska, but now he knows what Nebraska's relationship is in one-score games. This was 7th level of hell stuff for the Huskers. Minnesota wins 13-10 in a season opener that's going to be hard to forget. Nebraska commits 4 turnovers, including 2 in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, squandering a 10-3 lead. Minnesota wins it at the end. I guess you'd call it Minnesota magic, but it was more of a Nebraska meltdown toward the end. The Huskers controlled and dominated the second half in so many different ways until the final 5 minutes. Anthony Grant, who had fumbled during camp, is in the game. He fumbles there. Minnesota recovers around the 50. They go down on 4th and 10. Ethan Kelly-McManus throws a touchdown into the corner of the end zone. The receiver drags his foot just a little bit. He's in. Okay, 2:53 left. Nebraska's going to go to overtime, right? They're probably going to lose in overtime, but they're going to overtime, right? They don't go to overtime. At midfield, Jeff Sims throws a pass into traffic. It's picked off. The Gophers go down. They get to the 29. They kick a 47-yard field goal, and they win the game. This is exactly the kind of stuff that's been going on inside Nebraska football for about 6 or 7 years, folks. The Huskers have 4 turnovers today. They really couldn't run the ball with their running backs, so they were forced to use quarterback Jeff Sims. In order to do that, it wasn't always very pretty. Sims took a lot of punishment in this game. I think he had 4 sacks also that he incurred. They asked way too much of him, and you see what happens as a result. Receivers didn't get consistently open. Marcus Washington came in the second half after a first-half suspension, and he did okay, but they need more from him, and they need more from Billy Kemp for sure. Nebraska's defense held so well for so long, but when you put a defense in that spot late in the game and you're asking them to hold again, and Nebraska's defense has been in that position so many times over the last 6 or 7 years, it happened again. Nebraska's defense wilted, they gave up the touchdown, and then they gave up enough yards for the field goal. The Huskers fall to 0-1, and Matt Rule has lots of questions to answer, starting with what is going on with that quarterback position. 4 turnovers, that's not what they want. They don't want to run this guy 25 times, and that's exactly what happened tonight. Did they do it because they felt like they had to win the game? Did they think they were going to win the game doing that? I'm not sure. On the defensive side of the ball, they did a lot of things right, but at the end, they just fell a little short because that pass rush wasn't there. It just wasn't consistently good enough. So here we go. Nebraska now goes into Colorado week, and they've got to go through all the same stuff that they've already experienced so many times in the Husker era. Matt Rule's going to have to convince these players that this isn't like last year, because this loss felt like so many other losses in the Husker era, and it was about as painful as any of them, especially at the start of the Matt Rule era. Okay, we'll have full coverage of the World-Herald, Husker Extra. This was tough, but we'll have lots of coverage. It'll be really good.